hailing from London, England, the People's Champion and the Whirlwind, Jimmy White. His opponent, hailing from Melbourne, Australia, the former world #1, the former world champion, and the reigning, defending, undisputed champion of champions, the Thunder from down under, Neil Robertson.
In these strange, worrying times, we bring you snooker escapism
have a good match.
of the very highest order.
Just wait for the cue.
Ken Doherty in the commentary box with me, and the quality of the players in this tournament, absolutely first class.
Yeah, couldn't agree more, Phil. Really looking forward to this. I mean, the set is just amazing. Looks fantastic. Jimmy waiting in the wings there. Very eager to get out. And of course, Neil Robertson, champion from last year, defending champion.
They should be doing, yeah.
Interesting match to start us off this wonderful week of snooker.
Has to be said, though, before a ball is potted, Robertson is an overwhelming favourite. 1-14 he is. Jimmy White 5-2. Look at their odds for the tournament overall to capture the title. Neil Robertson 4-1. Jimmy White 500-1.
Yes, Phil, but as we all know, in this best of sevens, I mean, Jimmy White last year, he was 3-0 up against Ronnie O'Sullivan, wasn't he? Eventually lost in the end, but in this short format, anything can happen. I just hope he can produce some of the stuff. I mean, I've been down, lucky enough to been down lodging in his house, practicing him a little bit over the last 4 or 5 weeks, and he's producing some really good stuff in practice. Hasn't brought that to the match table, Phil, and I hope we sort of see it today and make a really good match for Neil Robertson.
I think Alan McManus touched on it. Victories for White over the last couple of seasons on the tour have been very sparse, in short supply against anyone. Coming up against Robertson, well, if he were to win, it's not an impossibility, but it would be a gigantic upset.
Well, it's the age-old problem, isn't it? It's like winning matches gives you that bit of confidence, and when you're not, no matter what you do in practice, Phil, unless you get out there and you win those matches out and arenas like this and in the other tournaments and build up that confidence, it's very, very difficult. I think one of the fascinating things about Jimmy White is that his enthusiasm, you know, for what's he, 40 years as a professional now, and it just has never waned. You know, his love for the game, enthusiasm, he still practices every single day. He absolutely loves it, and it's great to see. He's an inspiration, or any young professional coming into the game.
He's never won the World Championship, that's well documented, but in my eyes, for what he's done for the sport, he's an all-time great.
Oh, what a shadow of doubt.
And the longevity of his career is outstanding. Not much to do here, of course. We're in a bubble, a strict one as well. Nothing to do apart from go to the room at night, and it's either read a book, watch TV, or I happened to catch YouTube last night, and his 1980 World Amateur Championship final was on there against Ron Atkins in Tasmania. 40 years on, here he is, still competing.
Yeah, remarkable career. At first glance, this table looks extremely fast. You saw from that cue ball, didn't look like it was going to reach the reds, but just glanced at red. Yeah, it's got a simple safety shot back the ball here. Doesn't want to hit the green. A little bit short of pace.
Well, you know this table well, Ken. It's the table that was used as table one in last week's Championship League, and congratulations on your performance there. That was a terrific display. Turning back the clock.
I don't know about that, but I certainly enjoyed it. But I must say, these tables, Phil, these Rasson tables, I mean, we're so used to playing on the star tables, but these Rasson tables I've been very, very impressed with. Cushions have been good, very fast. Yeah. First chance for Neil Robertson here. So good at this particular shot. Normally so good at that particular shot, Phil.
Just in the head, I think.
Fly on the table. Rob Spencer, the referee, removing it.
Fly, I think.
With no harm done.
One.
And there once again we see the speed of the table. Just caught Jimmy out there. He was trying to hold it for the blue into the green pocket and get a nice angle to come back up for these reds. So will he attempt this? It's a difficult cutback into a blind pocket. Dangerous shot to take on.
Blue ball.
Nicely played, but
Six.
just again a little bit short. Another tough cutback here, and this is a lot more dangerous because the cue ball will be going into the pack of reds. So gotta be careful here. Be red scattering around the table here. Oh, beautiful shot. Nicely controlled.
And you're absolutely spot on, Ken. First indication, the table looks a treat.
Oh,
Jimmy White. 7.
well, that'll be disappointing for Jimmy. Created a really good opportunity there for himself, and just a straightforward black off the spot.
One.
When you've been as good as him, it must be so frustrating to miss relatively simple pots. He was so frustrated at a recent tournament, very uncharacteristically, he threw the rest on the floor.
Yes, I remember that. He said he was trying to get it into the hooks at the bottom of the table, but just missed. That was his excuse, Phil. But it was born a little bit out of frustration. But yeah, that black will really upset Jimmy White because, you know, against these top players, Phil, you're not going to get too many good chances, and that was certainly a good chance. And Cannot afford to miss
4.
blacks off the spot like that. 9 times out of 10, you're going to get heavily punished for it.
Six. Seven.
Black's out of commission, of course, on the right hand side cushion, so Neil keen to get this pink. I might try and nudge the red. It's on the pink spot towards this left corner pocket. Free up the pink spot. It's not the best shot he's played. He could have made
13.
a better fist of that. He's still got this red into this bottom right hand corner pocket. Yeah, safely
14.
in and left. The blue up into the top left hand corner pocket.
Given the reliability of Robertson's cue action, this should go in, but it's a tester, especially with distractions under the body.
Yeah, it's one thing you would have to say about
90.
Neil Robertson, his cue action is so straight. He's so reliable on that particular shot, isn't he?
$25. 26.
Much has been made of Jimmy White leading 3-0 against Ronnie O'Sullivan last year in the first round before O'Sullivan came back to win 4-3. Early doors in that match, O'Sullivan undeniably played several very ambitious, you could say cavalier shots. Can't imagine Robertson would do that. I think he's going to be all business.
Yeah, it's just not in his makeup, Neil Robertson. He's just
32.
a winner and loves to win and gives 100% on everything. Just checking there,
33.
the red left of the bunch, the 4 reds just beneath the pink spot will pot into this left hand corner pocket, so knock this pink in and try and get high on that red, and with a nice angle on this red now he can bring the other 3 reds into play, so it's a key little
39.
shot coming up here. There you see it, all 3 reds now in play. That was delicate, a little shot, but nicely played. He's worked this break very, very well, and that's will compound sort of the disappointment
46.
of Jimmy White from missing that black off its spot. It could cost him the first frame now.
47.
Just this
53.
elementary red and a high value colour.
54.
And white will need a snooker.
$60. $61.
Missing a black off the spot and then sitting out the rest of the frame. We've seen that before from white, very famously at the Crucible against our own Stephen Hendry.
Yes, 18-17, wasn't it? Yeah, just as I said, 9 times out of 10 you miss a black off the spot, particularly against these top players, Phil. You're going to get punished. And then we had a bit of work to do in this break, Neil Robertson. He's worked it very, very well indeed. He looks very sharp, very focused. A couple of mid-distance pots in there, just to test the cue action, as you said, and came through it.
74.
Great aplomb.
And now the concentration won't slip because he thirsts for century breaks, perhaps more than any other player in the game. He's already made 18 this season.
$75.
I think there's this sort of a little competition going, isn't there, between the top players, and particularly Judd Trump and Neil Robertson, to see who can make the most in one particular season. Neil Robertson first to break that century of centuries, of course, in the calendar season, and Judd Trump doing the same feat at this year's World Championship, but not overtaking the target that Neil Robertson set. But I'm sure that target will be the subject of many conversations throughout this season between the two players.
86.
This has been an excellent break.
And it's a message sent.
$90. $95. $101 on the first frame.
Immediately into century break making mode, and the man from down under is on top. He leads Jimmy White 1-0.
And that certainly tightened things up.
1.
A nice putt to the middle pocket for Neil Robertson. It's just come past the baulk line, which means he can have a go with this yellow. Play it a couple of ways. He can play for the loose red or maybe go into the pack, but it looks like he's going to play for the loose red.
Three.
This table is running beautifully.
Neil Robertson, 3.
Yeah, didn't have a great angle on this. Would have preferred to be straight. The sort of angle he had, he was going into the black, and that sort of just made that putt a little bit more difficult. Now a chance for Jimmy White here.
One.
Once again, he could play this with a lot of left hand side into the pack, or just play for the loose red as well. Don't blame him playing for the loose red. He's played to go into the pack and still beyond that red, but just gone astray slightly.
8.
A fuller contact on the pack and the pink, and he would have held for this red into the left corner pocket. It's a bit of a stretch, this one.
Nine.
Good pot, but he wanted that cue ball another 4 or 5 inches down this table, so it would be nicer on the black. This is certainly not easy. Cut back with the rest.
Jimmy White, 9.
Well, that qualified as another black missed off its spot, but it was very different to the one that went astray in the first frame. The trouble is, it could lead to the same outcome because he's left a red to middle.
One.
He judged that nicely. Always when the ball is in the middle of the pocket,
8.
sometimes he can overhit it or underhit it, but he's played that very nicely for this red. It's got a nice angle just to drop it in and stay on the black.
Nine.
And a perfect angle here. He could go into the pack of reds. Still beyond 1 or 2 of those reds left on top of the black there. And played it beautifully.
16. 17.
Just one frame and a bit in the books, but already, Ken, you're sensing this is going to be a heavy scoring week.
Yeah, as we said, the table looks beautiful. It's playing very fast indeed, and that will suit the players, of course. the reason the players love the fast tables, Phil. Of course, it's easy to move the cue ball around the table, but also when they're going into the pack
24.
of reds, that the reds open a lot easier on a faster table. If it's a slow table, you've got to hit them harder, and they don't move as much. But you saw from that
25.
previous shot, black into the pack, he's just barely touched it, brought 4 or 5 reds into play, and that's what makes the break building so much easier on these super fine cloths. Still got to have very good control of the cue ball, but as all these top players do,
32.
the fast tables and the cloths, so nice to play on. And this is what the great break builders do, and Neil of course is in that bracket. Within a couple of shots, when a pack was so tightly close together,
33.
within a couple of shots, look at all the reds out in the open and make the break so much easier for himself.
Forty. $41.
Of course, our last snooker here on ITV was the Tour Championship. And then the boot was on the other foot.
48.
Robertson was the victim, as Stephen Maguire went on a scoring rampage, making 6 centuries.
$49.
Well, the way he's queuing on the situation of the table,
56.
once this frame is over, don't be surprised if Neil Robertson notches up another century break in this
57.
frame.
$62. $63.
That guarantees the frame. £57 in the lead, just 51 remaining.
And this is already reminiscent of the last time they played.
66.
First round of the Welsh Open in 2017. Also,
67.
over the best of 7 frame distance, Jimmy White made a century in that match. Lost 4-1 because Robertson had 2 centuries and 2 other half centuries.
$74. $75.
Ooh. That wiped his feet a little bit. He stayed down on that
82.
shot. He thought he missed it for a minute. Just the pace kept that black in the pocket.
$83.
I must say, Phil, he's really laid down a marker here. His cue ball control has been sublime so far in this match.
$88. $90.
And just to repeat what I said in the first frame, he's now just a handful of balls away from what would be his 20th century of this still fledgling season.
93. $97.
It's a tough skill, isn't it? And particularly for Jimmy White, he's missed 2 blacks off the spot. Okay, the last one with the rest was a lot more difficult than the first one in the first frame, but he's been well and truly punished as another century is notched up from the Australian. This has been top quality stuff.
108. $115 in the frame.
Can
Neil
you
Robertson.
think of a more emphatic start to a title defence? I certainly can't. A double century blast from Neil Robertson, and he leads Jimmy White by 2 frames to 0. The set here at the Marshall Arena in Milton Keynes, it's futuristic and fantastic. It really is a wonderful place to play. As for Jimmy White, he just needs to get some kind of foothold in this match. Needs to prevent Robertson potting, but that's much easier said than done. Well, he does make mistakes occasionally, although I think White would have preferred the cue ball jingling around in the jaws of the pocket there and staying at the business end of the table.
Yeah, he's just having a good look at this red that's just right close to the blue. Does it pot into this bottom left hand corner pocket? If it does, he can have a go at it and hold for the blue into the left centre pocket. That will tell you that it doesn't pot from where he's positioning the cue ball in the D. So he's having a look at an alternative shot here. Got to cue this nicely. Good pot. Didn't want to kiss on the red though. Stop the cue ball coming back up for the black or ball colour or even the blue.
Yellow ball.
So just a safety shot. And try and get this cue ball tight to the ball cushion.
Jimmy White 1. Yeah, thanks, Neil.
And I think that's the most daunting thing about Neil Robertson. Not just a potter and a break builder. Tactically, he can mix it.
Yeah, for sure. His all-round game is top quality, isn't it? I think he's a great student of the game as well, Phil. I mean, he watches endless hours of snooker on YouTube. We're learning from the greats of years gone by. Trying to adapt his game as well. Of course, when he came over to Australia all those years ago, didn't he fall off the tour a couple of times and got back on?
Well, when he came back for the second time, he got very little money in his pocket. It's a rags to riches story. You know, the last time he came over, basically, it was do or die, snooker-wise.
Yeah, it's a great story. A long way to come, of course, all the way from Melbourne. Not easy. Uprooting from home, your family, loved ones.
The only thing that surprises me about him is that he won the World Championship in 2010. He's still waiting for his second world title. Just shows how difficult it is to prevail at the Crucible.
Yeah, it's a good point you make there, Phil, because I mean, he hasn't come very close even to getting that second world title. He hasn't been in a final since then. And this man, of course, has been in 6 finals. First one, 1984.
Well, it will be much tougher to make a century here. The way the balls have gone, the brown and the blue close together. The yellow off its spot, the pink hemmed in. The black in an unaccustomed position of the table as well.
For me, that was a very strange shot from Neil Robertson. He's left the red down the rail, of course. Not easy, but he's certainly left the red just above the black spot to the left as well as a free shot. And the red just to the right of the pink as well. So he's played a nutting shot there, Neil Robertson. A long way away from Jimmy White, and he may have left it into the green pocket as we look.
Well, I think we're in Buckinghamshire, and that was closer to Bedfordshire.
One. Eight.
Well, that gets the job done. 96% pot success rate from Robertson.
Nine. Yeah, sure.
Once again,
16.
taking the early opportunity to go into the pack of reds. Using the red nicely into this right corner pocket.
17.
And here we go again.
24. 25.
Purposely leaving himself slightly low on the yellow, on the black. He'll go into the three reds just below the pink here.
$32. 33.
Slight mistake from Neil Robertson here.
40.
Wanted to be a bit straighter on this red. Wanted that cue ball not a couple of inches up, higher up the table, so it'd be straightforward to get back onto the black here now. Looks like he's going to have to go into the couple of reds just above the red. He does have a red into the right centre as well. Oh, this is a wonderful shot. Nicely judged. Back for the black. Back in prime position. Good stuff so far, Phil.
Well, it's by far the best of the three
48.
breaks, because the black is the only high value colour in town.
49.
Yeah, he's just having a look at the scores because he was wondering, will he risk going into the pink and red? Or will he just play for the loose red just to the right of the pink? Bit of tactical match play there going on in his head. He just wants to make sure of the frame first before he took the chance of going into that pink and red and bringing those into play.
57.
And now having a look at the reds into the left centre pocket.
And despite the dominance of his position, despite how one-sided it's been, nothing reckless. Total respect given.
$65.
Yeah, I think that's a very good point you make. He knows he's just a couple of balls now to secure in this frame, but he's given it 100%. Nothing casual, lackadaisical. That's what the great champions do.
72.
When they're behind, they never give up, but when they're in front, they never let up. And that's exactly what he's doing here.
73. $80. $81.
Oh, wanted the cue ball to travel just a little more. The red will go, but it's tough. Not the red, the black, I mean, but the same applies. It is very, very tough.
Neil Robertson, 81.
That's
On the front.
a real shame. Neil Robertson can't make 3 centuries on the trot, but he can take a stranglehold on this match. Breaks of 101, 115, and now 81. 3-0 ahead, 1 frame away from victory.
Foul. And a miss. Neil Robertson, 4. Neil, you can't change your mind, yeah.
Just trying an uber thin safety. White missed the red completely. I think Robertson was having second thoughts about his decision there, but of course he was reminded by the referee that he'd made the decision. You can't switch thoughts.
Yeah, he came around to have a look at his other options and thought, oh no, I'm going to take this long red on. The referee told him, no, you can't change your mind once you've made that decision.
Yeah, okay. Marcel, can you bring it up, please?
Now Rob Spencer is asking our marker, Marcel Eckhart, who officiated the World Final this year, to bring up the position of the cue ball on his monitor. These days we don't always have a marker, but when we do, it really does make this process of getting the cue ball back in the correct place much swifter and much more accurate.
Yeah, okay. Neil, yeah. Thanks, Marcel.
At the extreme right edge of this red, and he's got to be careful. Doesn't go anywhere near this right corner pocket. The cue ball. He's played it well. Nice tap on the table from his opponent. He has left this red into this bottom left-hand corner pocket. There is a gap, of course, off the top cushion. Missed the black and two reds. Back down for bog. This red's gone close. Oh, wow.
One.
Very fortunate. Having a little smile. Jimmy and himself. At least he's, I suppose from Jimmy White's point of view, he's
Green
not
ball
on the yellow, so he's just going to play a safety shot here off the brown or green and get that cue ball
Neil
tight
Robertson.
to the ball cushion. It's such a tough situation, isn't it, for Jimmy White here, Phil, because he's been kept so cold. Even though he had those couple of chances, two missed blacks in the first two frames, but he's been kept so cold that every mistake has been taken advantage of, and he hasn't really got any sort of rhythm whatsoever.
Yes, and I think for the vast majority of his career, playing in front of the TV cameras was second nature, but in recent years, it's been much more of a rarity. I'm not saying it's alien to him, but it's not the day-to-day occurrence that used to be.
One.
Well, the pot was outrageous. The kiss on the blue was even more so. It never rains, but it pours.
Well, it happens when you're playing well, don't you? And even Neil is, with a wry smile on his face, he's slightly embarrassed with the bit of luck and a bit of fortune he's got there. Get onto this red. It's close to this left-hand corner pocket. That will free up the black into both pockets.
6. Seven.
Yeah, wrong side of the blue, so just working out exactly where he wants to leave the cue ball for his next red.
12.
over 6 foot. This is no problem to him. Easily reach, and he'll hold for the black here, you would feel. Oh, wow. First
Neil
one he's
Robertson,
really
12.
missed, and given a chance for Jimmy White here.
Well,
It would be terrific, even for just a frame or two, to see White do himself justice.
eight. Nine.
Now this will be interesting to see. Will Jimmy go into the pack of reds? He's got a nice angle. Go into the pack of reds, or he could play for the loose one, but does have a nice angle on the black. Oh, Jimmy. Oh, that was a quick one he put in there.
Jimmy White, 9.
Wanted to bring some more reds into play, knowing full well he's still beyond. But how quick did he cue that? Didn't go through smoothly at all. And it's just a bit of pressure. As I said, he's been kept cold. I'd be disappointed.
Well,
Well, when it came to colours there, Robertson had ample choice, but nothing ideal. And this is missable.
Neil Robertson, 4.
A possible pot here. He's got a cue ball. He's going to come down and have a look at this red. In the back of the pocket. Maybe on it for a pot, but it was tough. May not even take this on. He may just play containing safety shot here. Yeah, too tough to take on. I don't blame him for that, but he needs to get that cue ball tight to this top cushion. Hasn't done so. And has left this red into the right centre pocket. Another chance. Maybe Neil Robertson's concentration has just slipped slightly.
Well,
this is not fast enough. Wanted to get onto the black into the left middle pocket there, try and get it back on its spot, but short of pace.
Jimmy White won.
I know that Jimmy White was really looking forward to this match. He will be hating every moment of this.
Won.
I think it's fair to say, Ken, that while everyone would agree White isn't the player he was, this isn't a fair representation of what he is now. He's better than this.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Completely agree. Just those, the black in the first frame cost them that frame. Black in the second cost them that frame as well. When you get off to a start like that, particularly the way your opponent is taking full advantage, 2 centuries. You're under pressure with every shot you take, even the safety shots.
9.
Create an angle there off a
16.
virtual straight black there. Still not ideal. We have to go back up for green, brown or blue here off this red.
17.
And he's going to need a nice angle on one of these colours if he's going to continue this break, because he's going to have to disturb that bunch of 5 around the pink spot. And he's got a lovely angle on the brown. Couldn't have played that any better, Phil.
21.
Beautiful shot, wasn't it?
22.
And now you have to think the end is nigh. A storm hit Milton Keynes on Saturday morning. I was caught out in the
29.
rain as I scurried to my car. But no whirlwind on Monday afternoon. He's been entirely becalmed.
30.
You see it, 48 ahead, 51 still remaining, so one more red for Neil Robertson. It's not perfect on this red, but he can take it on and just leave the cue ball somewhere behind the black if he's totally unsure of it. He's just wondering if he does take this red on, the red will be taken on up into the yellow pocket as we look, the top left-hand corner pocket. And he's making sure he leaves the cue ball in such a position, if he misses it, he's not going to leave his opponent an easy opportunity. That's a
38.
wonderful pot. Puts him 49 ahead with just 43 remaining. And
Pink ball.
he's looked very, very sharp indeed, Phil. Okay. Set a real good marker for the beginning of this tournament and the defence of his championship. Jimmy White will be very
44.
disappointed. He didn't contribute more. But Neil Robertson
45.
looks like he's cueing sublimely well.
When he's got a title, he never wants to relinquish it.
Discover your family's wartime story with free access to millions.
What a performance from Neil Robertson. Breaks of 101, 115, 81 and 59. That was utter and total dominance. He beats Jimmy White 4-0 and he's into the quarterfinals of the Champion of Champions.